Call them records, call them vinyls. I don't care what you call them. Today we're going to call out the vinyl community for one of my pet peeves of the whole record collecting experience, and that is, what the hell do you call these things? Now, I spend a lot of time in, the Reddit threads and message boards and Facebook groups of, different vinyl collectors. And let me tell you something about the vinyl community. It's great when the community is great and it's all about the music. It's fantastic, but there are quite a bit of snobs in the vinyl community. A lot of people want to gatekeep this hobby. They wanted to, close it off to non-newbies. They want to just kind of keep it to themselves. The whole record ecosystem is not going to grow with gatekeeping this hobby. We want to expand it to as many people as possible. That's how we get all these great new record releases every year. One of the things that really kind of pisses me off about the vinyl community is this constant gatekeeping and shaming and snobbery over, new people coming in. They're asking questions. They're, perfectly genuine about wanting to get into this whole experience of vinyl, about what they call them. People get shamed all the time for calling their collection vinyls plural, or, whatever they end up calling it. They just aren't using the right terminology for the whole community. And people just get really nasty about it. They get really condescending about it. And even the people that say, I just bought my first record player. What do you think? And it's a Crosley Cruiser suitcase player. And people shame them about not having the right record player. I mean, people that are just starting out, they don't know what to get. They might go into, a Target, and the only record player that they might have is a Crosley suitcase player. So what are they, supposed to do? That's the only thing that's available to them. They might not want to stumble right into their local neighborhood record store, and, then they, might get intimidated. They find out that, if you get a turntable, you got to get speakers, they want to start somewhere. Who cares where people start out when they're collecting vinyl? I don't give a good goddamn what people use as their first record player. My first record player, getting back into record playing, was a Crosley Cruiser suitcase player that I got as a Christmas present from my wife. And I used that for a good amount of time. Then I realized, it doesn't sound great. It's not the best player. It's kind of chintzy, it's kind of wobbly, and actually the power supply failed on it. So I started doing my homework. I already had a receiver and speakers, so I ended up getting a secondhand Sony turntable from like the 90s, and I used that for a while. And then I found an Audio-Technica AT-LP 120. That's been my daily driver ever since. That's my main record player. And I upgraded the cartridge on it to an Ortophone cartridge. And so now, as I'm going through the hobby, I'm upgrading my skills and upgrading my setup, and I'm getting more out of it. And that's a good thing. This is a hobbyist medium. This is a niche hobbyist medium. And this is what people do to get into their interests and hobbies. So why are we shaming people about having a Crosley suitcase player, or that they call them vinyls? It's their property. They can call it whatever they want. I've seen people in other interests and hobbies, call things incorrect terminology, and they don't get half the crap that people in this hobby get for just saying the wrong things, or having the wrong equipment, or they buy the wrong pressing of a record. They, go to a Walmart or a Target, and they get, 180 gram new pressing of a classic record, and it's like, oh no, you can just go to a record store. You can buy, the original for less. Maybe they don't want to do that. Maybe they like buying records at Walmart. Walmart records get a lot of shit. They, aren't supposed to sound as good or whatever. I buy a lot of records at Walmart. I buy a lot of records at my local record store. I go to Rock and Roll Land and UFO museum here in Green Bay, and I used to go to the Exclusive Company a lot, and I go, down to the record stores in Milwaukee, and I buy a lot of records there, and I buy a lot of records from Target. You know what? I don't really notice, to my ear, everyone's ears are different, I don't really notice that much of a difference between the ones I get from a record store versus a big box store. They're all pressed in essentially the same plants. Walmart doesn't have a record pressing plant. Same thing about, a lot of people in the vinyl community, like to poo-poo all over colored variants and special editions and things like that, as being inferior, or like, a blue record sounds worse than a black record. It's like, who gives a shit? Really? I mean, this is what we're going to, get all pissed off over. Let people enjoy their hobby the way they want to. I mean, it's not like, are you really that worried about people destroying the records on a Crosley suitcase turntable? Because, someday you might find that in a used record bin and you're going to be pissed off because supposedly it was played on a Crosley, so it must sound like crap. I mean, what do you care? Let people enjoy records the way they want to. So if I meet someone who's just getting into vinyl collecting for the first time, I want to be helpful. I want to help them get into it. I like the communal aspect of vinyl collecting hobby. I love going into Rock and Roll Land and the atmosphere there on a Saturday afternoon. People, talking music, browsing the stacks, loving music, communal. We don't get that anymore. We don't have music stores like, when I was growing up, we'd go to, Tower Records, Music Land, Camelot. Was that a record store? Yeah, I think that was a record store in my local mall. And it was just the vibe of music. We don't get that a lot anymore. And record shops and the record collector community, this is what we have left of that energy, that community energy. Why be a snob about it? I mean, just let people enjoy the music. Let people, build their hobby. Let people fail. Enjoy your records. Let people enjoy theirs. What's the big deal about it? So that's just getting a little bit of a rant off the top of my head that, I spend a lot of, like I said, I spent a lot of time in Reddit. I spent time on Reddit this morning, and it's kind of fresh in my head, and people just really kind of crapping all over people just for saying vinyls. I mean, that's how you're going to spend your life, is going to be putting other people down because they say vinyls when, it might not be the correct term. It's like, just let it go. Just be helpful. Be part of the community. It's a great place to be. So anyways, a little bit of a rant for today, but hope you enjoyed this video. Hope this makes sense to you. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you experience vinyl on a personal basis, how you started out, how you are now, where you want to get to, community. I love talking records with people. It's fun. It's my fun. So let me know what your thoughts are on the subject, and be sure and tune in, like and subscribe. There's more videos on vinyl. There's more videos on all sorts of movies, reviews, how-tos, all sorts of stuff. So like and subscribe for more videos coming up soon, and thanks for watching.